What it do, my good people? What's going on?
Hey, y'all, we back.
It's connected by the hip.
Healing in progress. What it do, hippies?
Hey, it's your girl, Alyssa.
It's me, Jasmine.
What's going on?
Hey, it's the season finale. I don't know why I keep singing. The judgment I feel.
Ain't nobody judging you. Ain't nobody judging you.
I know. Y'all here rocking with me.
Y'all, it's the last episode until 2022.
Who's ready for 2022?
It came quick, but I mean, I'm ready.
I was gonna say, I think this is one of those, I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or what, but this is like 22. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I want to start over again. I'm ready for a fresh start.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It came quick though, because I feel like yesterday I turned 30.
Oh, yeah. That is unfortunate. And we are already on our way to 32.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little cray.
It is
a little cray.
It is, because I mean, I was just 21. Like, I remember being 20, like celebrating my 21st birthday, and now it's like,
do I remember 21?
I remember 21.
I remember 22. 22. I remember that birthday because I went to the strip club.
Okay. Did you enjoy the time?
It was a nice time.
It was
not gonna lie. That was during my strip club phase. Not gonna lie. It was a nice
Everybody has one. Nice.
Did you go to strip clubs? Because I don't feel like you did.
I did. I didn't do it as often. It was always like a, hey girl, you want to go after the spot? My homegirl Corey used to always be like, oh, let's just I'm gonna tell on myself, but on some fat girl stuff, it was always because she was like, hey, this strip club got the best wings.
Oh yeah, no, they did have the best food.
Okay, so I'm
not gonna lie.
All right, yeah, let's go check it out. Yes, I had a phase.
Yeah, man, time just be flying. Now we out here about to be another year older.
Another year older, another year wiser. Just
another year to conquer some goals.
That's right, knocking them out.
What's going on in your world? How your week going?
You know, it's a week. It's always crazy in the world of education. The weeks before breaks, or it's like the week coming after a break, because we just had Thanksgiving break, and then now it's that week and a half before we go to Christmas break. So you feel the anxious energy everywhere. The teachers who are ready to go home, students who, are ready either to go home, or the ones who are not ready to go home because, their situation at home may not be the best. So the energies are very, very heavy in the schools right now. If you know a teacher, anybody in education, send a prayer. Pray for us. Buy us some coffee. You know what I'm saying? Breakfast.
You and that dang on coffee.
Hey, I needed to start my day.
Girl, need her coffee.
It's really routine at this point. I don't even think it adds any fascination to the day. It's just, okay, I can check it off. I have my morning coffee. Now I feel ready.
Goodness gracious.
But what about you? What's been going on? You said this is a good week.
My week has been pretty relaxed.
Okay.
Work wise. I'm in the IT world. I don't know if I revealed that on the show yet.
No.
So my days they're relaxed some days not. But they're not. If it's not relaxed, it's because of the people, not the work.
Right.
But overall, it's a good week. I've been outside of work. I'm preparing for a baby shower that I'm hosting.
Okay, what's that like?
It's a lot of prep. It is a lot of prep. And I'll be glad when it's over with.
Yeah, it's always like that. It's anytime you have a big event.
And I'm not looking forward to the junk that's about to pile up, because you know how you buy little trinkets for the baby shower and then you gotta come home with it, and then you don't use it again into another baby shower or another party. So I'm not really looking forward to that junk, but I'll be glad when it's over with and I don't have to worry about arts and crafts. Even though I like doing arts and crafts, it's just a lot It's just a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to be in charge, and oh, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
So
but
be sending you some prayers this weekend so that you know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Do your
So
thing.
I'm in charge of the decor, in charge of the games, in charge of like keeping it hype.
Yeah, the hostess with
So
the mostest.
basically,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not nervous or anything. I'm just anxious to get it over with. It'll be a good time.
Yes.
Just, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm. So, should we get into like a current event right now? What's going on in the world?
You know, it's crazy that we were talking about the baby showers, and maybe it's not crazy. Maybe that's why I brought up baby showers in general. I was, and this is sad news. So, Nick Cannon announced that his son, that was only 5 months or so, passed over like the not Christmas, Thanksgiving break, and that's something that I did not, of course, want to read in social media. So I kind of took a hiatus from that just because of his story. But did you hear about it?
I did. Why am I so
Yeah.
close to the camera?
Girl.
No, like I did. And like you said, I didn't want to, take in a lot of that because I know how I am.
Yeah.
I scrolled past it and I saw, the headline, and I saw him crying. And I'm like, I didn't even listen to the video,
Right.
but I read like a little snippet. And you know how like when you scroll past and the sound is on or it's off, it was on and I heard a little bit. I was like, oh no, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. I'm
Yeah.
scrolling past. You're not about to have me crying.
I'm telling you. I don't know, girl. Go ahead.
No, go on. Because I was about to say, I am not a parent yet, but I can only imagine the type of pain that that man and the child's mom is feeling. That is a lot. But, what I did admire is that he's being vulnerable. He's
Yes.
crying.
Yes.
Although, you know how like we tend to make fun of people that cry on the internet.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he was at work or something, like a pod. I don't know what
It
that
was
was.
it's his show, his new daytime not reality show, but like the daytime show, like Oprah, Wendy Williams type.
Okay. So I admired that he was being vulnerable and that he was going to work because I would have been glued to the bed.
Girl, talk about it.
A show? No, I'm off for the next 6 months. What you mean?
My mental health. No, can't do it.
So I admire that he's showing men, women, little boys, little girls that you can express yourself and it's okay to cry. Specifically for men. Because you know how like men, they try to be macho, they try to be strong, quote unquote, for the woman or for their families or for whomever, instead of like letting that out.
Right.
Now, granted, I don't know that man, I don't know his negative habits, but it was nice to see him be vulnerable on camera.
Yeah. And just like a little side note to that, like even if like I do notice we do that as people, but like, you know what I'm saying? We all have some negative things that we have in our issues, but I think we get better when we start congratulating ourselves on the good things that we try to do in spite of like our situation. And so, regardless of all the negative, and I say that only because I know like Nick Cannon gets laughed at a lot, he gets a lot of negative press or certain things, but like he still, in spite of all of that, like he came through and shared with us something that I don't think is nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to put his hurt out there. He was vulnerable. He was real with himself. And like you said, one of the things I admired the most was he showed up, because I would be glued and stuck in my grief if, God forbid anything happened to my kid, much less, like you said, showing up to work. I'm good on that. I don't have
out of office until further notice.
Till further notice. The show may have been canceled at this point, because how am I going to get up and but for real though, how am I going to get up and
No,
work?
for real.
Like, but he was honest with us and then telling us, hey, this is what I'm going through, like letting those around you know, like I'm going through something, instead of hiding away or not talking about it, like still showing up, doing as much as you can, but being honest with the people that you care about and saying, hey, this is what happened. Like, You know what I'm saying? You giving them something to work with rather than them just guessing or wondering how they can help. I mean, his episode, or not episode, his, I guess it is an episode. It was on a show,
Yeah.
but his story. I mean, it was really touching.
Yeah. I never been attracted to Nick Cannon, but he automatically became a zaddy to me because he was
Daddy.
so vulnerable and
Yes.
open. I'd be like, ooh, come on, babe, open up some more.
You know what I'm saying? Got the shoulder. Let me just
Come here, come cry on my shoulder.
It's okay. Like but it's something about a man being vulnerable and sharing his emotions that's like, wow.
Yeah, I was like,
Ooh,
that's a bit.
let's talk more.
Now I see why you got all them baby mamas. For real.
Girl.
Man, but RIP to his little one.
Yes, I mean, love.
That's
sad. Away.
And that's terrible. And the baby was only like 5-6 months.
Right. And then, okay, so one thing that I wanted to also talk about, because I thought it was powerful, he did say, like, at one point, you know, he just knew, you know, the time was coming near, things were progressing. And then he was like, he wanted to spend the whole day before he had to fly back to New York to shoot the show. He wanted to spend the whole day with his family. He wanted to watch the sunrise with them. And he said, you know, as he was leaving and preparing to go, he got in the car, I guess, to head back to the airplane. He said, but something in him told him just to turn around. And he stayed. And I think by him staying, you know, he got to spend some of the last moments with his son. And I really thought about, man, how many times do we always say, like, man, something told me, something like that, like ourselves. We have to really take that time to hear ourselves and listen to ourselves, because we know, you know, that gut feeling, that intuition, like we really trust ourselves. And imagine if he didn't trust himself in that moment. Not only would he have been, you know, devastated by the loss of his son, like, could you imagine beating yourself up in your grief because you're just like, man, I knew I should have stayed. Something told me to stay, and I didn't listen. I turned around, and he would have been in New York and didn't even know. So, like, the fact that he was able to trust himself, I wonder if that even gave him a little bit more peace to deal with the situation. Not saying, like, you know, it's peaceful by any means, but like it gave him a little bit more to work with.
Yeah, he feel a little less shitty, but he followed his intuition.
Right.
So he could be a little bit proud of himself for doing that and not ignoring it.
Right. So listen to yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Get quiet. Find your quiet spot when you can really tune in and figure out your body's gonna lead you. Your gut, your intuition is gonna lead you where you need to be. Like,
I'm learning that more and more too.
Yes.
My body knows. My body knows. It's up to my mind to catch up.
Yeah.
Sure. But I got to continue doing the work to, you know, reach that level of like, you know what, my body say no.
Right. And for me, it's like having to clear my mind enough so that I can hear it, because it knows, but it be so many drawers and file cabinets open in my brain at all times that I can't hear the little voice that's like, hey, you know? Ooh.
It's so much. I don't even want to talk about what's going on in my brain.
Girl, y'all come back to season 2, because we're gonna have to get into this.
About what's going on in our brain.
Yes, like why we have so many things and pages and
no.
Girl.
I don't know. But I know my brain be so active, it wake up before I do.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
For real.
I'm so serious.
But anyways, y'all, before we get too distracted.
Yes, because we was going.
Go on, tell them what we're going to be talking about today.
Today, we are going to talk about reparenting ourselves. Okay, so you know, sometimes you get into this groove and you're starting to, as you're healing and you're on your journey, you start feeling like, you know what, certain things that my parents said doesn't quite resonate with who either I am right now or who I know I'm trying to be. And so sometimes we have to really do the work and say, what's best for me now? Because that may have been what was best for you when your parents, you know, taught you that lesson or did whatever they did. But now, as you're discovering your new self, really doing the work to figure out, okay, what does that inner child or what does that inner person need to hear now that's going to progress me versus just holding on to my old beliefs or okay, well, my parents always did this, their parents always did this, so this must be the way. Like, you can figure out there's a different way to do
Hell yeah, it
things.
is. Man, let me tell my
Girl,
story.
tell your story.
Nah, just like, you know, when we talk about reparenting ourselves, we want to tread lightly, right? But we also want to speak our truth, but we don't want to make it seem as if our parents were terrible.
Right.
So we want to put it out there that we really love our parents.
Yes.
We're just learning that some things that they did don't fit no more, like Jasmine just said.
Yes.
It just don't fit.
Right.
So for me, my mom was very strict. So, you know, I am the product of, you know, teen mom.
Me too.
So she's doing her best to prevent the cycle from repeating. And so I get it. I seriously do get it. But raising or coming up with a strict mom, it made me have like a very hard voice because she was so hard. And so like I'm growing up learning and coping, and now I'm like, I need to speak to myself better because in my mind, I still have that voice that I've grown up with that's really harsh and really hard and really strict. Like sometimes I'm strict with myself and I'm like, damn, girl, chill out. But I also have to, when I do say, damn, girl, chill out, I have to come back and I got to say it in a softer tone. So I am reparenting myself with a softer tone.
Yes.
And it's not an easy thing.
It's not.
Because I'm hard-headed.
Girl, but but for real, to pay.
I'm joking, but still, I mean, it's not easy.
It's not like it's. I know exactly. That's why I was laughing so hard and like really like vibing with you because I am a parent. Well, I am a parent, but I am a child.
Come on, parent.
You know, a teen mom as well, and my mom. When I say no joke, with the strict and that stern voice, and I mean, we've had a conversation now, so I get it because now, like I said, I am a parent, so I can kind of see why certain things were necessary. But my mom was always the type of person, and she'll tell you now, she would rather be your biggest bully than let someone else bully you. And so she was coming with it. My mom's tongue is like, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, step out of pocket with that lady. And so when I am talking to myself, I notice sometimes I'm like, hey, like, you don't like the way that feels. Like, it's okay. And I get it why my mom did it because she was so young. She was trying to stop the cycle. She only knew what she knew at that time. Right. Now in her older age, my mom is a lot more like she's more aware of the way she's speaking to you, and she's coming at you with a different approach. But you know, at 17, 18, like, this is the best I can do. This is what I got right now. And she gave me the best of what she had, you know. And so now she's getting it, but now I'm having to get it. Like, you don't have to talk like that. Like, you don't have to be so hard about it. Yes, I get what she's saying, where she wants to be the biggest bully, meaning she wanted, if the worst thing someone said came from my mom, I could take that because maybe my feelings won't be as hurt, my heart won't be as broken as somebody who doesn't care about the same thing like that. So I kind of get it, but also, you know, growing up, that made it tough because it was like, do you feel that way about me? Like, you're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? I care more about what you think or what you say than anybody else. Like, I don't care about them. But now trying to understand that I'm like, okay, you know, I get where she's coming from. That's all she had at that time. Like, you know, now she's known that there's a better way, but she could only give me the best of what she had. And so now I have to give myself the best of what I have now. And that's why I'm doing the work, because I got to pass this down to somebody else. And I need her version to be a little bit better than what I had within the generation. Now it's not a generational curse. It's a generational gift, because now, you know what I'm saying, we're changing the way it was. I'm about to ramble, but you know what I'm saying?
Come on, generational gifts.
I was really gonna go on the whole tangent. I had to bring it back.
You was finna hit us with some gems after gems after gems. Come on, generational gifts. What's good?
Oh, you be hyping me up. Yo, get you. So I'll share this like in a meme. If you don't have a friend that's behind you, geeking you up, drop that friend. That's not your friend. You need you some people that's in your corner. Like, yes. Before we even started recording, I saw a list. I'm like, okay, earring. Okay, baby, here's you. That's you.
For real.
So you need you some friends who care. If your friend's looking at you like, hey girl, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Get rid of them.
Real talk.
For real though.
So,
but yes,
for me, my mama was so strict to the point where I felt like I could not say anything in response to.
Yeah.
So, growing up, I learned to cope with it. Like, okay, she got, she got a firm hand, she got a foot down. Let me not say nothing. Let me not rock the boat.
Right.
But when you're an adult, that presents a problem because now I have to learn to speak up for myself when people do certain things to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm in therapy about it because it is something that I need help with. And you think I would know how to speak up for myself, but certain things, certain situations, it does make it a little bit more difficult for me. So I'm reparenting myself in that way. I'm safe now. My inner child is safe now. I can speak up for myself.
Yes.
Nothing's going to happen to me if I speak up for myself.
Yes, girl.
So it's almost like a mind trick. I don't know, but
tell me more about this mind trick. Yes. Explain that.
You gotta rewire the brain to think differently.
You do. You really do.
And it's like you gotta psych your mind out. Like, no, come this way. We not on that no more. And we tongue twister, rewiring your brain to think in a more positive way. Boy, they need to teach some courses over there.
It's for real though. It needs to be a whole class. Like one of the things that I'm finding that I have
I'm sure they do.
All kind of psychology classes on these things. But one thing that I'm finding that I'm having to kind of rewire my thinking behind it. My mom was the ultimate planner. Like she said this day, still planner. It's gonna be a plan. But sometimes I think when I get into the mindset of always having to have a plan, like a backup, like a plan and a backup plan, like it somehow morphed in my brain, and it probably was that need to get it right, need to be always in line, need to be seen and not heard, and you know what I'm saying, just one of those type of things. It always morphed into having a backup plan meant that my plan A was going to fail. And so then I kind of started second guessing myself or second guessing my decisions. And then that kind of turned into me just always having a negative outlook on things or not being able to see the good that could happen. Like I started becoming like a pessimist, and my husband calls me out for it all the time. He's like, man, you just always think the worst. And it's like, no, I'm not thinking the worst. Like I'm just planning for the worst to happen. And he's always like, why do you need to plan for the worst to happen? I'm like, yeah, because if the worst happens, I'll be prepared. And he's just like, or you could expect that the best is going to happen and the best happens. And I'm just like, no, that makes no sense. Like we have to, I can't accept it. I'm just like, no, the best happens all the time because God's plan is just always the best, but the best always happens. And yet every time I'm like, but why would the best happen? So the worst has to be happening. So
suspicious.
Always suspicious, bro. Suspicious.
I know. Dang. You know, like another famous line that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, that my mama used to say, you ain't got no wants. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? And like, saying that to a kid, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And then like when you grow up, you wonder why you're aiming low because you ain't got no wants. Remember? Yeah. It's been drilled in your brain. You ain't got no wants. When really, I do got some wants.
Right.
I should be able to express myself, right, of course, in a respectful way.
Right.
I should be able to share an opinion of course, in a respectful way,
Right.
because that's healthy.
Yeah.
Um, so much unlearning to do, so much unlearning.
For
But again,
real.
like you stated, they did the best they could with the tools that they had at that
Yes.
time.
Yes.
And it is up to us to do the work now
Girl.
on that inner child. That inner child work, I think that might be the most difficult so far. I'm not
For
gonna lie.
me, it's definitely difficult because you're really having to look back at some things. Because when you're thinking to yourself, like, why do I respond to this certain way? Or why am I acting like this? You have to think back to when was the first time that I could remember or I could recall acting like this. And you kind of have to shift through some things in your brain and you're like, oh, I remember this situation.
Yep.
Now I got to relive it. And now I have to talk to myself and remind myself of, hey, look at where we are now. Like you said, I'm safe. We're fine. We made it. It's okay. We don't think that way anymore. It's this. Like having to uncover those things. Because sometimes you don't even remember that was a thing. You put that memory away and you tucked it behind some things. And now to have to rip that band-aid back off and let the wound get clean and heal it,
It's a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wait, like you said, wait, I thought that was tucked away. I thought I forgot that. That's a
Yes.
lost file.
What? God, delete, delete, delete.
But I'm noticing that those memories pop up for a reason.
They do.
They literally, every time they pop up, it's for a reason, and you have to
Yes,
pay attention to them.
yes, you do.
Like,
You're gonna repeat it.
yeah, yeah, or they're gonna like control your world, control
Yes.
your life,
Yes.
and you're gonna be confused every time that every time that it happens.
For real.
Like, I had a memory pop up in my mind when I was 29 that happened to me at 12, and that's like a 17-year gap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, why you pop up at this time? Because I
Right.
completely forgot this memory.
Yes.
Literally forgot this memory, never thought about it up until this random moment at 7 in the morning
Mm-hmm.
on a random day.
Right. What's going
It's
on?
Yeah, it's a lot. That childhood trauma, childhood triggers. Cause like someone could trigger you today, and it
Yep.
could be from something that happened to you when you were 6 years old.
Right. And you don't even know why you were triggered. Like, why did that bother me?
And
Why
neither
did
does
that?
that person. The person
No.
like, she throw it off. It's hell.
Right.
What's wrong with this girl?
Girl. Yes.
It's
Ooh.
a lot, which is why we gotta continue doing the work, because the people we interact with don't know what's a trigger and what's not a
They
trigger.
don't. They don't.
I don't know if I say something to you right now that you're gonna be triggered because it's relatable to whatever happened to you years ago.
Right.
I don't know that.
Right. And it's not fair. That it's really not fair to the person who's on the receiving end of that because they did not do anything for the moment. And you know, it's like, oh, what? And especially when for some people who do know that certain things are a trigger, but the other person doesn't know it's a trigger, and you expect them to understand where you're coming from, you really can't expect them to understand that because they don't know, like they're not aware. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's tough on both ends. The person who's giving it out, the person who's having to receive it. But that's why we can't hold ourselves to the, oh well, this is just how I am. And if they really care about me, they just gonna have to accept me as no, 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 no. Because it's not that they just have to accept you as who you are. Do you accept you as who you are? Like, are you okay with lashing out every time somebody brings up something that they don't really know is an issue that they shouldn't bring up? Because if you are, then we need to have a different conversation. But you know what I'm saying? We gotta do the work. We have to do the work. We gotta
Man,
get past
it was easier when I wasn't aware.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it?
People be living their best life when they
Yes,
not
because
aware.
ignorance seems bliss.
It do though. It be. Man, like life just seems
Girl,
so much better.
it
It
does.
seemed. It
It does.
seemed.
Seemed. And now I be looking, ooh, when I hear people talk about like how mean and rude and nasty I was in the time. I used to like, yup, and say something.
Yeah.
Now I am like,
Cringing.
ugh. And also I was like, so was nobody gonna tell me to go check my trauma? Like y'all were
Right.
okay with letting me
They didn't
like
know.
this? But they didn't know. Girl, hell,
They
I
didn't
didn't know. I didn't know. I thought this was how you live life.
Well, thank goodness for growth.
Yes, shout out to Hope.
But if we were like on this journey back then, life would kind of be boring.
You think so?
You think so? I was just about to be like, you think so? Let me ask my other twin. You think so?
Girl. Does she think
It
so?
might have been.
Maybe.
We probably
mean, but-
wouldn't have been partying as carefree anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
then
don't think
again-
that time frame would happen.
I don't know.
But you know what? I'm a true believer in like divine timing. So like things really do happen the way and how they're supposed
And I gotta tell myself that often, every week.
Mm-hmm.
I have to talk to myself and say that every time because you know those little pieces of doubt sneak in,
Yes.
and you be like, "Are you sure?"
Right.
Me to my other twin, "You sure?" I gotta talk myself off the ledge
All the
every week.
all the time. All the time. 'Cause I'm supposed to be a millionaire by now. Like
Man,
the money.
we really could. All you gotta do is just keep working on your gifts.
Yeah.
The gifts are the key.
Yes.
And then the money follows. I think a lot of people chase the money first instead of doing what they
chasing the
love.
gift. Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, I didn't thought about it too. I didn't fell victim too. I mean, I want the money first.
I want them.
Nah, it's the gift in the money.
It really
Gift
is.
in the money.
Yes.
It's the gift in the money.
Your gift on my room.
It's the gift in the money.
Hey.
So you want to get into word of the week?
Yes. My
What's
word of the
your
week.
word,
I gotta
boo boo.
pull it up. Okay. My word of the week is trust. I am just gonna
Come on,
trust that everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen. That, like I said, the timing, everything is happening in God's perfect timing. I just have to trust. I have to trust the good, like trust all the positive things that I want to happen. I have to trust in that and not give so much of my energy and headspace to the negative pessimist side. What about you? What's that
I
word?
feel you. So my word of the week is authenticity. Like just to
Ooh.
keep on.
Shoot. Yes. See, this is why I hate Zoom. Zoom or these recordings because everybody gets to see when I be feeling it.
You
Ooh.
silly. So like for me, I believe in authenticity
Yes.
to the fullest. Because you know me.
Yeah.
Our listeners are getting to know me. Like I believe in being myself.
Yes.
And so sometimes, I have them little pieces of doubt and
Mhm.
I kind of like stop and I'm not being me. But anyway,
I feel you.
being myself authentically is what I'm priding myself on and just continuing to do that and not letting people sway me. Stand on being who I am, boo boo.
That's right. That's it. And I like how
So-
you said like the listeners are getting to know you. One of the things I've been like really figuring out since I've been on this journey is I'm still getting to know me. Like I thought well, of course I know myself better than anybody, but the things that I thought I knew about myself, now I'm sitting here like, is that a you thing or is that something that's a mom thing? Is that something that's a dad thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so many things that I'm like figuring out now that I'm like, oh, hey girl, nice to meet you. Wow,
Yeah.
this is fun.
Right. And I think another thing people get caught up on is that you're allowed to have layers.
Yes.
I think people think you're supposed to be one way.
Yes.
When that, in my opinion, it's not true. There are many
Yes.
layers. We
So
have
many layers.
very many layers. You got the Jasmine that you see on the show, and
Mhm.
we got the Jasmine outside of the show.
Right.
both can coexist.
Yes.
You got mom Jasmine, you got wife Jasmine, you got
Mhm.
coworker Jasmine.
They all
Like,
exist right now.
so many different layers, and ain't nothing wrong with that, in my
Right.
opinion. But they say if you got layers, you're crazy. But I don't know, whatever.
Hey,
I
well,
guess I'm
I'm in
crazy.
good company, so I'm definitely crazy. It is what it is.
So, what's your affirmation?
My
What is your
affirmation.
affirmation of the week,
My
beloved?
affirmation is I release the past and trust that everything in my life is happening for the greater good.
Yes. Which means you got to release them old versions of you.
I know, because listen, if y'all knew me from college, you don't know me now. If you knew me
That's
from
for
high
sure.
school, you don't know me now. If you
That's for
knew the
sure.
little girl that I was, you definitely don't know me now. Hell, if you knew me last year, you don't know me now. I'm different.
For
I
real. If
am
you knew me
evolving.
6 months ago, I
Right.
ain't the same.
You know me yesterday.
That's no, for real. I feel it. All right. So mine
What you got?
is my bad. Had a little burpage.
Oh, good. Yo, we giving y'all. It's like we finally came to the season finale to give y'all who we are.
So
Ooh,
mine
yes.
is I stop the self-sabotage and self-pity and choose self-love instead. I don't need validation from others.
Ooh, girl, you was all right on my neck with your foot. Because yes, the pity, the validation from others, because what is life if we're not constantly searching for the validation of others?
I know. And, sometimes, I feel like, validation is cool.
Mhm.
But other times, we need to believe that we are that chick.
Yes.
That one.
Yes.
That one that did not come to play, like that one that is coming in and taking life by the reins.
Yes.
I get it. Like you said, some days our mind just not there. And we might need it, which is why we got tribes for that.
Right. Yes.
I'm not against it, but I do believe majority of the time we need to stand on our own and not seek that outside from other people.
Right.
Gotta believe it.
Yes.
Gotta feel it. You gotta embody it.
Yes. Ooh, preach that.
Even
yes.
like even if you gotta fake it for like a small little second, like fake it until you start to own it and believe it.
Yes.
You are good enough.
Yes. Walk that walk. Talk that. Girl,
walk that walk. Tout that tout.
Yes.
Baby.
Hey.
Y'all, that is the end of season 1.
Thanks for
episode
rocking with
5,
us.
or is it 6? Episode
Well,
5.
It's officially episode 5, but we gave y'all a little extra.
Oh yeah, we did.
You know what I'm saying? We was really hooking y'all up. Like, we wanted y'all to rock with us.
We really did.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all, we're gonna have to catch y'all on the flip side.
Yes,
and that good
come
old
back.
2022.
Yes, January 11th. We will be back.
Come on,
we're gonna
season
have some
2.
goodies for y'all. I mean, we gonna do it up. We gonna level up. We just gonna keep, you know what I'm saying? So tell a friend in the meantime. Y'all get our views up, get our listen. What is it called? Listen.
Yeah,
airplays, there viewers. Get our listeners, viewers.
Come on, airplays. I would have never
tell
thought of that.
somebody to tell somebody. Sorry. I'm just trying to get it
you
all
silly.
out.
I was letting you too. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna catch y'all on the flip side.
Yes. Bye.
Peace out.